Son, I got a feeling about something, and
Yeah?
I just want to ask your opinion. Do you think Thelma Dickinson would have committed armed robbery if you hadn't taken all their money?
It's Sunday Morning on CBS. And here again is Jane Pauley.
That's Harvey Keitel as a police detective talking to a young Brad Pitt in the classic 1991 movie Thelma and Louise. By contrast, this holiday season, Keitel plays a man on the other side of the law. He's in conversation this morning with Anthony Mason of CBS This Morning.
Sit down, Frank.
As mob boss Angelo Bruno in Martin Scorsese's The Irishman,
What are you doing in Delaware?
Harvey Keitel makes a brief appearance, but a lasting impression.
Somebody else got an interest in that. You know?
No.
I do.
We need digging tools.
Just as he did as Ludwig, plotting a prison escape in the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Take care of yourself, Mr. Gustav. Good luck, kid.
Hollywood hasn't always considered Keitel, as he says,
bankable.
but he's always memorable.
There are no small parts, only small actors.
Okay.
Konstantin Stanislavski.
You see something in those small roles.
Alice doesn't live here anymore.
Do you mind if I sit just a little bit closer?
Yes.
Pulp Fiction.
I'm Winston Wolfe. I solve problems.
Taxi driver. Had 3 lines to begin with.
$15, 15 minutes, $25, half an hour.
I had good training. It's said that heaven looks down from the Brooklyn Bridge.
You believe that?
We in Brooklyn do.
The 80-year-old actor grew up in the Brighton Beach section of Brooklyn, where his parents ran a series of luncheonettes.
Did you get put to work in those ever?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I made the best egg cream in Brooklyn.
That's a trick.
Okay, somebody get the chocolate, and the milk has to be frozen.
That's the secret?
Yeah, to the creamy top.
His first exposure to creativity, Keitel says, came in the Marines.
It's interesting to me that you describe being in the Marines as creative.
Well, you've never been on Paris Island. You have to get real creative there.
It's where he learned to confront his fears and be honest about his feelings.
How did your family feel about you being an actor?
I'll make a long story short. When I said to them, I'm going to study acting, my father summed it up. He said, actor, schmactor.
How old were you when you moved into Manhattan to pursue acting?
I was 25.
He took small stage parts at first.
I played a dog.
You played a dog?
No lines.
His big break in film came when he met a kid named Martin Scorsese.
He was a student at NYU.
Yeah.
And I was selling shoes in Manhattan at that time. And he advertised for this student film in the trade papers.
Right.
No money. And I got the part. And that was Who's That Knocking at My Door.
You have to give it back, though.
I swear to God, I'll give it back.
Okay.
It was the beginning of a lifelong friendship.
Marty, you know, we just connected right away.
He's been in 6 Scorsese films and made another enduring connection in those early years when at the Actors Studio, a friend introduced him to a young Robert De Niro.
He said, Harvey, this is Robert, Harvey. And we looked at each other, just like that, sort of grinned. And we never said a word to each other.
Not one word.
Not one word. It was just mumbles and grunts and smiles turning into laughter.
Keitel would recommend De Niro to Scorsese for his next film, Mean Streets.
Hey, hold up! Come on with you guys! We're friends!
Okay.
And they'd reunite again in Scorsese's Taxi Driver, when Keitel asked to play one of the lesser roles.
Officer.
I said, let me play the pimp.
I swear.
And he said, the pimp has 3 lines.
I'm hip. But you don't look hip.
Keitel would improvise additional dialogue.
You're a funny guy.
After going out with a real pimp and strapping a tape recorder to himself.
I said to him, I have to tell you this, you know, I'm wired. He said, what? I said, I taped myself so I could record it. He said, are you nuts? You're going to get us killed.
Yes.
Take that tape off. I'd unbutton my shirt and take all the tape off. You know,
What were you hoping to get?
authenticity.
In 1977, Ridley Scott gave him his first leading role in The Duelists. But the next year, he lost an even bigger part.
You walked away from Apocalypse Now.
I did.
In Francis Ford Coppola's Vietnam epic, he'd been cast as Captain Willard, the role that eventually went to Martin Sheen. But Keitel balked when Coppola wanted him under contract to his new studio.
He said, sign it or I'll fire you.
Yeah. So you got fired.
Yeah.
Any regrets?
Yeah.
You do.
I would have been a star and bankable. But there was a big reward there. I got through it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be owned by anybody. And no actor should be owned by anybody.
But for much of the 80s, he worked largely in exile.
Hollywood didn't seem interested in me, and the Europeans did.
He played mostly in foreign films until 1990, when he was cast in the sequel to Chinatown.
Jack Nicholson hired me to do The Two Jakes.
Yeah.
The studio wanted me to be replaced because they wanted a bankable actor. Yeah. And Jack said, nobody's firing you.
The other night there was a murder.
The next year, Ridley Scott hired him to play the sympathetic detective, chasing Thelma and Louise.
Louise, I almost feel like I know you.
Why did you want that part?
I needed it.
Louise, I'll do anything. I know what's making you run. I know what happened to you in Texas.
I'm proud of that movie, by the way, because it has become a standard, a classic.
Hey, this conversation is beneath me.
That same year, Keitel earned an Oscar nomination, playing mobster Mickey Cohen in Bugsy. But he's always had an uneasy relationship with Hollywood.
Why do you think at that point in time Hollywood seemed to lose interest in you?
Gosh, if I knew that, I'd bottle it and sell it. I mean, I think they've lost interest now.
You do?
Because everything is box office.
Yeah.
Not that things don't have to be box office, they have to be.
Yeah.
But not everything.
Right.
And right now it's everything.
To Harvey Keitel, it all goes back to that word.
Bankable.
To be bankable is essentially to be a star, yes?
Yeah.
Do you not think of yourself as a star?
I think of myself as a former Marine who got lucky. Really lucky.